Hello there, my lovelies. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining me. Got a bit of a meaty one today. You won't want to miss this. So I'd like to talk to you today about resin safety and PPE, and I have managed to secure a discount code for you and identify all the PPE that you may or you may not wish to wear through the lovely people at Mysafetygear. I've been talking to them since March, on and off, and they've also had input from the manufacturers of the masks that they supply called Moldex. You may have heard of them, and they very kindly agreed to a 10% discount on the specific links that are listed below in the description bar. So please go and see them and protect yourself. Now, all of the advice that I'm giving you in this is based on my own research and is my own opinion. You need to do your own research. I am not an expert. Okay, so with that out of the way, I'm going to tell you what I know. Back in March, I sent Mysafetygear the technical data sheets of the resin that I was using, which happened to be Viva Vista at that time, and still is to a certain extent, although they have increased their range. So I may not have sent them the specific data sheet to the resin that you use, so again, please do your research. And they sent them to Moldex, who identified the specific ingredients within the resin, and whether they were a gas, an organic or an inorganic vapour, and whether particulates were generated. I will link that, I will put that in the description box below, all that information, because I cannot pronounce any of these names. It's just far too long if you are interested. I also did a bit of research on the internet, really, just looking at what the advice was generally, and it is really confusing, and there is a very much it divides people, basically. It divides opinion. Some people don't believe that you need to wear it. I personally am of the opinion that you really do need to protect yourself. I've seen there's a Facebook group, which again I will link in the description below, that I think it's something like "Why Does Resin Hate Me?" or something like that, and people have shared like the chemical burns and the sensitization and the allergic reactions that they've had to epoxy resin. Let me just go through the kind of why I'm telling you this. So I'm telling you this because I want people to protect themselves. It is entirely your choice whether you choose to or not. I'm not your mother, and I won't be telling you what to do at all, but I would much rather that you had all the information and could make your own decision. If you breathe in the vapours, particularly when they're hot, because they become more concentrated, it can really irritate the respiratory system and cause sensitization. Now, sensitization, you can have all sorts of reactions, and usually you can just not use resin for a few days and it will go away. But you don't know what level of sensitization you will get or when it will happen. So if you enjoy using resin, my feeling is I want to use resin for as long as I possibly can, and I want to prevent any sensitization, because it will mean I'll need to stop, and that would really not be good for my sanity or anyone I live with sanity, put it that way. So the other thing that is not great is if you breathe in dust particles that can become trapped in the mucus lining of your respiratory system, and the reactive material can cause severe respiratory irritation. And you can also get skin sensitization and you can come out in blisters, red eyes. Apparently the symptoms are fairly similar to poison ivy. I've never had poison ivy, but I've heard it's not that pleasant. And also exposing sensitive areas like your eyelids to concentrated epoxy vapours can cause itching and swelling. So what do? I hear you ask. Right, well, there's basically what I see is a gold, silver and a bronze way of protecting yourself. So as an absolute minimum, I would recommend wearing gloves, working in a well ventilated area away from pets and family members, because you might be protected but they're not, and we don't know how they will react until it's too late, basically. So as an absolute minimum, wear gloves. Nitrile gloves, there's a link below. You can get 12 in a pack. They're gauntlet style, these, look. And I do find that sometimes I do get resin on my wrists because I'm really, really messy crafter. So, and these, make sure that you get the right size. What you want to do is measure around here, and then there's a guide below for sizing. And that, I got the too big a size. I got a medium when really I'm a small. And let's just say there were quite a few accidents. So gloves, definitely get nitrile, not latex. Can seep through. People have reported that that their hands are wet when they take the gloves off when they're using latex, so it's not adequate protection. The next thing that they recommend is a mask. So I thought I would open this up in front of you to show you what it's like. So this is the mask. This is the 7000, and the codes are slightly different depending on what size you get. But again, I'll put the small, medium and large down in the description. Like that? I don't know. Anyway, you've got to fit it on like that. Make sure that it's a really good seal, okay? I will fit that after. Now, these are the filters. These are 9500 bayonet, and what you do is you can see that there is a marking, there's plastic in there, and you literally just screw them on like that. When you're not using the mask, it's good to put it in a sealed plastic bag, you know, one of those like food seal bags, to protect it from sunlight, from heat, from dust, and it will last a lot longer. And in terms of changing your filters, you need to do it every 6 months usually for this particular mask, or when you can smell like say you can smell perfume, or the dinner cooking, or you can smell your resin. When you can start smelling stuff, it's starting to lose its effectiveness. The other thing to mention as well is if you're starting to feel a lot of resistance as well, that's also an indicator that you need to change your filters, okay? And they've also got a use by date as well, so check the use by date and make sure that you're using them within the use by date. Ta-da! So these are my goggles, very fetching, I know. And even though I'm wearing glasses, I also wear these as well. This is to protect from splashes and also to protect the very delicate eye area from the organic, from the vapours. Sanding resin. You also need to protect yourself when you're sanding resin, because the little resin bits can get into your respiratory system and cause damage. Also, it can cause, if it's left on your skin, it can produce some sensitivity there as well. or irritation, and possibly lead to contact dermatitis. So make sure that you wear a mask and you know, clean yourself up afterwards with wet wipes. If you do get resin or hardener on your skin, clean it off immediately with a wet wipe. Others have recommended using baby shampoo and water, but it's not advisable to wash it over a sink, because it will then get into the waterways and it is toxic to aquatic life and will change ecosystems, so that's not advisable. Which brings me on nicely to disposal. If you're disposing of your containers, make sure that you don't put it in with the general rubbish, because it is a chemical. It should go to the appropriate section at your local dump. So why am I telling you all of this? I'm telling you this because I want you to protect yourselves, and I want to see your makes, and I want you to share your makes with me, and I want us to enjoy resin. And I'm really, really passionate about that. And I do want you to avoid, if at all possible, any sensitization which can cause an allergic reaction to the resin and can result in contact dermatitis. I have read as well somewhere, the link again is down in the description, the sources that I've looked at that have indicated that you are more at risk if you suffer from specific respiratory health conditions, if you have fair skin, and presumably also if you smoke as well, you would be more at risk as well. So just please look after yourselves. Please go and see Mysafetygear, people. They are so lovely, and use the discount. It's LSR and the number 10. Please go and see them, use my code, and stay safe. Nearly forgot. This applies to UV resin as well, just FYI. Claire from Claire's Crafty Corner said, oh, I forgot to say it, make sure you say it, and I nearly forgot. So anyway, use it when you're using UV resin as well. I mean, that stuff really stinks, a lot of it. Gosh, I hope that's everything. Thanks very much. Bye.